Well, on this first of the month, I've decided to try and do something different, permitted exercise-wise. I'm going to walk the other way around the town, the opposite way to normal, so that'll be a real treat. And then I'm going to walk up the old railway line. You may be able to hear the birds in the background. And I shall take a few photos as I go. I've only been walking a couple of minutes. I've seen two joggers and something of the less elegant side of Tetbury, our industrial side, and which we all need, of course. And this is the home of the Tetbury Town Football Club. Goodness knows when it will next see a game. I'm now walking up through Trubshaw Close. Brian Trubshaw was the test pilot for the Concorde aircraft back in the late 1960s. And I don't know if everybody knows that their road was named after him. This is the relatively new development or subdivision of houses that's just been built here in the last 5 years or so. This is interesting. I've known that the rugby club were aiming to move up here for many years, and now it actually seems to be happening, which is brilliant news. The idea of rugby being played here has been mooted for at least 20 years, and finally the whole thing seems to be coming off, which is great news. Tetbury is a relatively affluent little town, and hence our only car dealership in the town is Audi. We have so many retirement apartments in Tetbury now. I don't know what the hell we're going to do with them. Trouble is, a lot of them are based on the outskirts of the town, so people can't walk to the town centre to do their shopping, etc. So anyway, it was 20 years ago, as the song goes, that Tesco's built their supermarket in Tetbury. Before that, we either had to all drive 10 miles to Cirencester or somewhere else to get our shopping, groceries, or we had to use the local convenience stores. So maybe we were a backwoods town back then. Just walking into Tetbury town centre, we have the ominous warning signs. At the last count, there were about 50 antique shops in this street. Oh yeah. You wouldn't necessarily think we were in a lockdown. This is Wiltshire Bridge. On one side of the bridge it is Gloucestershire, and on the other side was Wiltshire, hence the name. But back in the 1960s, I think, I'll check that, the government in their wisdom decided to change the boundaries of the counties. So the Wiltshire boundary is now a mile or so down the road. Shame to change these traditions, but maybe I'm just an old stick in the mud, and there's plenty of that around here at the moment. although it's a fairly hefty bridge, there really is only a stream running through. It is actually the upper reaches of the River Avon that goes down to Bath and Bristol. But I guess either the river was larger in the old days or was apt to flooding and they needed to build a substantial bridge. This is the old railway station that was closed back in the 1960s with the beaching cuts. Probably would do very well if it was reopened as a railway. The railway ran from here to Cirencester through Kemble, from where you could get a train to London. It's been many years that they came up with the plan to turn it into a little bit of a leisure area, which they have now done. There is a cafe, like an exhibition hall where you can go and watch movies, place for the kids to play, etc. And that runs into the old railway line where we can walk and cycle. So this is the old railway line, and it's a lovely facility for people of Tetbury to walk up through an area of wooded nature, birds tweeting, etc. Regardless of the time of year. Is it a safe place for our permitted socially distanced exercise? Well, right now, relatively early in the morning, I would say yes. But yesterday when I came down here, it was a question of put the mask on. As you may be able to hear, the old railway line follows the course of the River Avon. Not much more than a stream, but in flood at the moment. I've met a few joggers and dog walkers here this morning, and we've all kept well away from each other, while at the same time having a nice chat. It's nice to think that we've kept the art of conversation alive, perhaps more so even than we would have done a year ago. Good morning. Very strange. Some people are very happy to say good morning, and other people just glower. Well, it is Monday, I suppose. There are some little markers that have been put out for the kids to look for. Hello, doggy. And I think that's quite a nice idea. Morning. Morning. There. Didn't hurt, did it? Good morning and a smile. Here the water passes under the old railway line and appears on the other side. I imagine a tunnel has been made here to enable it to do that. So now I'm about to leave the old railway line and walk up through the meadow back home. So this is now the source of the River Avon, just below where I live. Videoed it many times. Just seen a magpie down here. The river is fed by little streams from all directions. So here we are, back with the pooing alpacas. And just a little further up, some sheep. And now we've done a full circle back at Trubshaw Close again. A close, by the way, is a dead end, or indeed a cul-de-sac. Right, I'm home after nearly 7,000 steps, 3 miles. Now we resume our lockdown life.